What if I told you Iran, Iraq, Syria are not the monstrous regimes that the feds and the news report them to be? What if I said that we, the U.S., the federal government, and European powers assured that radical Muslims would be put in charge of the entire Middle Eastern region to destroy their own countries? Without such support, such radicals would have never come to power. Think for a second. Would regular humans who are prone to peaceful coexistence with each other vote into office someone that would destroy women, children, young men, and pass constant legislation saying that a religion should be in charge of the country instead of the rule of law? Without the backing of the support of the U.S. and European powers, radical clerics couldn't seize control of key positions in and around the government to constantly redefine that religion. This was done intentionally so that these countries would be constantly at war, internally and externally. The final blow was when European powers left the region and drew country lines which did not exist before and grouped warring tribes together in every single country. When I hear the news talk about hated, evil Iran, Iraq, Syria, I laugh because now the very thing that they created is used as a weapon against us to keep us in constant fear. Answer me this. When was the last time ISIS broke in your door, ransacked your house, and murdered your children? Then why are you afraid of them? When was the last time Iran broke in your door, ransacked your house, and murdered your children? When was the last time Iraq broke in your door, ransacked your house, and murdered your children? When was the last time Syria broke in your door, ransacked your house, and murdered your children? You're hating and fearing people you have never laid a finger on you, and will never lay a finger on you. Why am I saying this? Several UK journalists said they discovered the alleged Muslim attacks that were reported to have ties to ISIS here in the United States had all been fabricated, from their Facebook pages to their biographies in the news. All lies. In fact, several of them worked for the federal government.
But you know, whether you like Saddam Hussein or not, he used to kill terrorists. I mean, terrorists did not have fun in that country. Now, that's the Harvard of terrorism. When you want to become a terrorist, you go to Iraq. That's what, it's like a catastrophe.
I don't think we ever said, at least I know I didn't say, that there was a direct connection between September the 11th and Saddam Hussein.
They were... What did Iraq have to do with what?
The attack on the World Trade Center.
Nothing.
Iraq was not only our ally, but we trained, equipped, and even brought to power Saddam Hussein. We even defended Iraq against Iran, our other ally. Iraq and Iran had a history of strife between them. It wasn't until Saddam Hussein started being the leader of his people that we meaning the federal government and Wall Street, didn't want him to be that we got upset. The straw that broke the camel's back was when Saddam Hussein declared that he would sell his country's oil in euros instead of dollars. Within a week, we invaded his country. While that seems to be the surface reason for the invasion, weapons of mass destruction, lies aside, the real problem Saddam Hussein posed was that he was killing those pesky terrorists we were funding in the area. Yes, Saddam Hussein made it a habit of slaughtering terrorists that came within a breath of his country's borders. That's billions of dollars down the drain. But Iraq wasn't our only ally. So was Iran.
So began a chain of events including the staging of CIA-sponsored riots on the streets of the capital Tehran, which ended with Mossadegh being deposed and arrested on August the 19th. Mossadegh played a prominent role in Iran's 1951 move to nationalize its oil industry, which had long been controlled by the British-owned Anglo-Iranian oil company, which is now better known as BP. The decision led to a worldwide boycott of Iranian oil to pressure Mossadegh's government, but when that failed, a secret plan was devised to oust him.
60 years ago, Iranian military officers backed by US and British intelligence agencies initiated a coup d'etat. The coup toppled Iran's first democratically elected government and its popular Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, and is widely credited with fueling the hostility against the West that culminated decades later with the 1979 Islamic Revolution.
The United States and Britain toppled a democratically elected government in order to maintain their interests in Iran. Democracy is an instrument for them. They care about whatever serves their interests. On different occasions, the American officials have admitted their country's role in the 1953 coup in Iran.
The last admission has just been made by the United States Central Intelligence Agency. The CIA has just unveiled new documents that confirm Washington's direct role in Iran's 1953 coup. Documents provide new details on Mossadegh's overthrow and its aftermath. This is believed to be CIA's first formal acknowledgement that the agency helped plan and execute the coup. One of the documents shows the disposition of thugs and ruffians paid to demonstrate by coup organizers early on August 19, 1953. But what caused the US and Britain to engineer the coup?
The interests of foreign countries were in contrast with the interests of Iran's national movement. So through a series of covert operations and moves which were against Iran's constitution, they managed to destroy Iran's national movement.
On the 60th anniversary of the coup, National Library and Archives of Islamic Republic of Iran held a session attended by historians and academics. 60 years after the coup in Iran, which toppled Dr. Mossadegh's government, scholars have gathered here to discuss the latest documents and researches related to the event. During the session, the coup was discussed based on new scientific rather than historical aspects. On the sidelines of the session, an exhibition displayed different photographs and documents showing how the coup distanced the country from democracy at that time.
Before 1953 coup, Iran was moving towards democracy. But the August 19 coup reversed the process of democratization and caused monarchy to continue for more than 20 more years.
The superpowers abused the lack of strong leadership in Iran's national movement and deprived Iranians from the right, which was democracy.
Experts say the US and Britain masterminded the coup to maintain control over Iranian oil and also to prevent Tehran from falling under Soviet influence after World War II. It also altered the geopolitical landscape in the Middle East and became a blueprint for a succession of covert US efforts to promote coups and destabilize governments in the 50s.
Iran was not only our ally, but it was the most democratic country in the entire region, including the Kingdom of Saud and Israel. Jews, Christians, and Muslims lived there in peace. It wasn't until the CIA overthrew their Shah that the country wised up, but it was a little too late. The CIA constantly attacked Iran and brought to power monstrous people to destabilize the country and its power structure. But even with monsters in power, inside the country reigns relative peace, and not the strife that is constantly reported in the news. Israel plays its part by shooting rockets into the country, and when Iran responds, the media pretends it wasn't Israel that instigated the entire thing, killing their citizens. Again, I ask, what have these countries done to you? Ignore everything the news says. And what have these countries done to you? Nothing is what. Yet you support invasion and send your sons and daughters to be slaughtered in a foreign land for absolutely no American reason. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame.